What is up, guys? Got a fun deck for you today. Today's deck, going back to Dwarves to try out the new ST cards. We are running all three Zoltans here, so we get max value out of Eudora Breckenridge. And so something that's changed a little bit now that we're swapping out all these kind of new cards for Dwarves is it seems the focus is less on, hey, Dwarves can get a lot of carryover, which you could still build them that way. It's more just, I guess, focusing on the point slam side now and just really trying to get set up. What's that card? I'm always blanking on Bruver. Yeah, can never remember his name. Yeah, Bruver, who, you know, and with playing three Zoltans, we get a really good Zoltans company, so it's kind of like play Zoltans company and Bruver, and you're going to be chilling on points. But you just kind of have a lot of different variable ways you can approach rounds, and I really like that. Like, it's not all in on just Bruver. We can definitely mix and match and don't have to have set combo pieces. It all just kind of works however you want to play it. And we've seen some reworks to some of the bronzes here, so definitely plays a little bit different.
We'll pay men back for their persecution.
Having the, I believe it's Mahakam Guard now, or Mahakam Defender, where it's with Barricade boosting by 1. That's been really nice, and that's made the other, that 7 provision one, kind of fall out of favor when I was looking at building this. That was almost always an auto include, but decided to swap him out for Dennis. What was it? Xavier. Yeah, Xavier the one, you know, where he's got armor boost self by 1, and then he gains it when you play Dwarves. Dennis is way better, and kind of some mistakes I make here are I'm trying to set up armor to get it on adjacent units, you know, built up so I can play Dennis for a lot of points. Don't really do a good job of that, and I keep like changing my mind of like which ones I want to do it with. So you'll kind of see some of those errors there, kind of like, why am I putting armor on ones? Are you just gonna know that it's not ideal. Now as for this matchup, armor is gonna generate a lot of points. These are one of the matchups where having all your dwarves coming out with armor really gives that leader a lot of value. That can sometimes just not inherently always be there. Because if you are going up against something that damage and that armor is going to eat up a lot of points, this leader becomes way more valuable than just playing a tempering, which sometimes it's all it's worth. And yes, it does give automatic access to Barricade, which is not to be understated, but you know, some of the complaints are that the leader's a little weak, but it's these matchups where all that extra armor pays off. But I would probably, another way to try and build dwarves is just go all in on the resilience, so lose a lot of the other units, and just, now that we have, you know, Mahakam Pass, it's another one with it. You could get a lot of good carryover. A lot of utility with it too. Because the benefit of all of these transferring over is you already now have a row that's set up better for Mahakam guards. That's the one that I was confusing earlier. Yeah, so defenders, the boost by 1, guards are the boost by in this row. So you already get quicker setup for that. They lose their armor, but it's already filling the row up for Bruver. So some decent extra synergies there besides just the points carrying over. And with Mahakam Pass now spawning tempering, that can help solve some of your armor issues. What I've always appreciated about dwarves though is the same thing with a lot of SK decks. I guess it's kind of more the mid-range point slam, but you're always pretty happy with your hands. You're always just set up for at least decent value, and you're never too irritated if you miss something. Obviously, if you don't get any resilience units round 1, that's always a disappointment, and you do really want Bruver at one stage or the other. But generally, like, even a handful of complete bronzes, you can put up a competitive round with it. Granted, against most decks, if you up against something like Cultist, you're just going to absolutely get mopped, but be another consideration to build Dwarves is try and put some more actual control in there, some locks, a heat wave, things like that. But yeah, with that being said, Dwarves is definitely now, because where it was before, you kind of had like one deck for it that you're really building for, and there's enough new support now and variations where I think there's many ways you can approach it, which is nice, I guess, now that we're at the end of the life cycle of, well, at least official support for it. We do have the community patches, but at least stuff to mess around with. So this round's gone very, very good for us. Looking at an easy win on even here, which is what we want, and then we can punish them. And a situation like this, you know, having a resilience unit in round 2, if you do go to round 3, is also really strong too.
Strength matters not if you lack the skill to wield it.
Could consider the pass here. I don't think I do, but stealing a card from him wouldn't be the worst. Then again, in a long round, if, of course, I don't know exactly what his deck is. He's kind of playing some weird stuff, but in a long round, like I think your typical warriors would probably destroy dwarves. We need shorter rounds because Brewer's about the only thing that can scale through a long round. And unfortunately, since his nerf where he loses armor, it becomes a little bit harder to maintain. But so with that in mind, sorry, I was kind of paying attention to the board here. With that in mind, that'd be a reason to keep playing, is because you don't want that long round, and kind of at any cost, it's worth it.
Double safe.
True love always finds a way.
Alright, there you go. Both the new cards. Nothing too crazy, I guess. So that round was going pretty good, but it kind of got expensive for us to close it out, to actually take it. And it's something I don't like to do personally. Sometimes I'd rather take the card advantage, but man, you can get punished for that. You're like, I had a really good, you know, round 1, I only played bronzes, I took a card from them. But you go into that long round and they just destroy you because they have way better engines. Yeah, this is like 2-0 material here, because we had Zoltan's Company, and then we can start transforming those into Berserkers, and then while we're doing that, slap down Brewer. We'll get the carryover for round 3 if it goes to it, and then we also just have pretty much a card of our choosing. One downside of, what is it, Call of the Forest or Call of Nature, you cannot pull the one Zoltan who spawns like the birds and stuff. You don't have access to that card, so that is the one downside here with that. So you maybe consider doing Royal Decree instead, so you do have access to that, but I think I'll take the 1 extra point, because it can add up, and we can put it right outside of range of being deleted or something. It's also just 1 extra point, could win you the game. Every time you ever had a draw and you just realize, man, if I'd done one small thing different. So I'm surprised here that he didn't fill up the row, because he should be expecting Brewer here. And I was really afraid of that, because that would just really suck. I mean, We'd still be fine. Because we're still transforming into berserkers and all that, but... This is what'll really help push the 2-0, and I guess he's just trying to save his leader, but... Now I think with Bruveron, unless he can delete it, we're looking at a...
Damn it.
Okay, that's unfortunate. Oh well, we're looking at a really good 2-0 here. Or at least pulling like his Sovin leader from him. And then he shouldn't have much left in a short bout. One of the strongest things too with Prover is all those passive points you're getting. Where like if you know he has armor here and I was to like pass or whatever, you know, still generating 5, 6, 7, 8 points a turn is crazy. You definitely have won games just straight off of that. The opponent can't keep up and they end up going down like 2 cards, so it's over. They just like forfeit or whatever. But I smell blood in the water here because he only has 1 card left. He doesn't have any bloodthirst, so Sov isn't looking too good. So just go ahead and use leader, throw everything at it, and take the win. We'll see what he's got though. See, if you'd done that earlier, opponent, you might have gotten out of the round. I would have lost a lot of points if he had done that.
Well, what is it?
Very, very sweet. Alright, cool. That's game 1. Let's move on to the next one.
Crush those vermin!
So, slight spoiler alert. If you guys saw that 1-minute clip I put out a couple days ago, this is the game. But here you can kind of see the whole entire play out. That I was just trying to keep it to kind of like the meme section. I always love that when you mulligan something and you just draw the other copy of it. Possibly a questionable mulligan, but trying to search for golds and I didn't really want to lose anything else.
My ass!
Engineering solution is such an underrated stratagem. I think people are so much more concerned with locks, so they're always running, you know, to get the Crystal Skull to get Veil. But being able to negate just like a set amount of damage is huge in some circumstances. Like if you're going up against an opponent where they have like pinging engines, no, it's not that great. They can get through that shield relatively inexpensively, but if they're only just doing like hard damage like deal by 5, deal by 4 or whatever, that shield just eats all that up and they can't touch the unit. So I by no means expect it to be like always played for NR because there's other cases made, and also sometimes you just want the 1 extra point. But I am shocked I don't see engineering solution more. I do think it's very underrated because shields can be very strong. But again, I imagine, you know, when you're boosting something up that much anyways with Crystal Skull, you know, your unit sitting at like 8-9 power, most things aren't touching that. But a lock certainly could, and with engineering solution, that's really gonna hurt. So like, I understand this isn't like die on the hill, but I still think it's a pretty decent stratagem. Okay, Siege Ladder is interesting. Wonder what that's for. Man, it wouldn't be commandos, would it? There's no way. We go here with the volunteers. Such amazing point slam. And thinning. Thin by 2. Playing out what? 13 points? Whew. Love it. So, when you see this card come out, you know, this round's ago. Now, there's a chance, you know, you could always go Curse Knight onto it, and that'd be the original assumption. But it doesn't really turn out to be that way. So, this is essentially round 3 of Gwent Masters' final game, however you want to do it, whatever situation is. But, you know, I win this round, I win the game. It's as simple as that. So, anything in my hand, we play. So, like, next card should be Broover.
Watching blazes, do you know about duchesses?
I guess I don't have a lot of armor for it, so yeah, guard does make sense, but that's filling up the row. Yeah, I disagree with that. I think that's a misplay on my part. I think I should leave that open. Plus now, yeah, Dennis isn't really getting too much either. Playing guard for 11 though just feels amazing. Wait. That's what he Siena'd? What? Huh? I forgot about that. Oh, this is a treat. Well, okay, I have Sultan's Company here, so no, that actually isn't a huge misplay, because then we can get Broover back like that. And yeah, with him only having 2, no, but I also have 1 armor per turn, so he's always activated. So yeah, that's something worth considering. Possible misplay in that regard. Play the guard back row, go ahead and have Broover just taking off in the front row. That'd be a certified win. And we should get it here. I don't think he has no points. He's only ahead by 3. We're putting down a massive engine. We still have leader and another card.
To get you out of that tight spot.
Yep, this is a win. We just won the game. Bye bye deck. See you later. Get out of here. What's crazy is that he didn't like auto forfeit the second he lost the round. Like, it's like he wasn't expecting that to actually happen or something. There it is. Well, that's certified classic Dandelion show moment. RIP to that show. But yeah, I hope you guys enjoyed. Nothing too amazing, but pretty solid. See you in the next one.